Hello everyone and welcome to a new video on my channel. I'm Adam and today I'm going to be ranking a fair amount of Beast Quest books from my least favourite to favourite. Now, what all these beasts have in common is that they are reptiles, let's say, or in the Reptilian family. What that's supposed to mean is that in this big bunch of books here, we got ones which are clearly based off reptiles, like lizards, snakes, and such. We got a turtle as well. And to give me a hand with this, I've had to use this book. If it gives any hints to them being remotely related to reptiles, they're in it. And also I used Google for ones I wasn't really sure on. So with that, I have got a total of 28 beasts here. And it was 29, but because, even though I have read it, because I haven't reviewed Bizarra the Horned Dragon on my channel yet, I'm not going to be counting her on my list. So don't be expecting Bizarra. I did have her here though, because she was on my list. It was a last minute choice on me to not have her on the list. But please bear in mind, this ranking is entirely my opinion. So if your opinion is different, please leave in the comments below which reptilian beast is your favourite. And with that being said, let's get into it. So we're going to start things off with my least favourite, and probably the most obvious one. Veteran Crymon. Now, the only thing special about these beasts is that they can communicate through their stomachs glowing to each other. Whilst no other beast can do that. However, that's the only ability they can do, and the one time they were in Battle of the Beasts, that didn't help them because they were fighting each other. Hopefully it will help them a bit more in the next tournament, but other than that, nothing much else to report here apart from the beast design is very similar to Furno's. Apart from they are actually dragons, whilst Furno is actually a wyvern. Apparently. The abilities, same as Furno, plus the communication through the glow in their stomachs. And, what was the other one? And the fight, not really much to report. So yeah, unfortunately I had to put Veteran Crymon in last place because they didn't really impress me. 27th place, we have Torno the Hurricane Dragon. Now, unfortunately, I do actually dislike this dragon. Whilst I like most of the beasts here, I would say up to... Okay, not counting this one, 3 books from now, that will be the ones where I start liking them. But for Torno, I put this one in the last place because he didn't last long in the tournament he was in at all. He died in the first round, I believe. And there's nothing really much else I can remember from him, and in my opinion, he's overshadowed by Ballis, Coron, Hexen, and Kronas. He's just barely better than Bloodborne now. But he's overshadowed by most of the series, so I don't really like him for that. But I will say, though, he does have a good design, though. 26th place, we have Anorex the First Beast. It kind of upsets me that I had to put the first beast this low on the list. And that's because for first beast you'd expect her to be all formidable, strong, most powerful of them all. Not self-conscious. Like, this one had its face taken off and she was hiding herself for most of it. And then when she got possessed, while she puts up a good fight, it wasn't a great one. I also don't remember Anorex doing very well in Battle of the Beasts either. I don't remember who she lost to, but I know she lost. 25th place, we have Blaze the Ice Dragon. Now, unfortunately, I do dislike this dragon. I had high hopes for it when I was getting round to it because I knew it was one of the most popular books in Series 4. However, it just seemed a bit on a sour note for me where I just didn't like it at all. Whilst I will say a dragon that breathes out ice instead of fire is creative. I think there's a better dragon coming up which does a better job than that. I might reread Blaze in the future just so I can try and get some more appreciation for him. But as of now, no. 24th place we have Israelia the Creeping Menace. Now, this one, as I said in the collab I did with Lucas, this entire series to me is quite forgettable. And Israelia is no exception. Whilst she has one of the most unique abilities, if I forget about her, then it's not going to be useful, is it? Because Israelia, great abilities. However, the design kind of blends in with every other beast design, and the fights, I don't remember anything special from it. So the only thing that actually helps Israelia, I guess, in this far at least, is the abilities, but that's it. I'm hoping she'll do good in this tournament coming up, as she was eliminated in the first round of the original tournament. But hey, if you can't beat if you can't beat Elic, then you got no chance. Okay, but moving on to 23rd place, we have Komodo the Lizard King. Now, for me, Komodo is I found him to be a rather underrated beast, and even though he is underrated to me, he's still, in my opinion, the third best book of Series 6. And considering he's this low on the list, whilst there is no other Series 6 beast here, that's not a good thing to be the third best book of Series 6 when you're the first book and also a very hated beast. Whilst I'm aware this is Year Unknown's favourite book of the series, I don't really whilst I did like him when the tournament that he was in started and he made it up to round 2, over the course of time I kind of lost appreciation for him, as if I'm being completely honest, the only reason why I even liked Komodo in the first place is because I liked the rivalry that me and Lucas had when Komodo went against Convol. That was the reason why I like Komodo, and I still have some appreciation for him because I love my lizards. However, Komodo died in the way which is my least favourite way for a beast to die, and that's to fall from a height from their own... basically ended up having the beasts kill themselves. So, Komodo was the original beast to fall from a height, survived, but then bled out due to his tail being chopped off. That is barely classed as a kill for Tom, but technically he killed himself. But Grimon, however, the Bison Horror, he fell from a great height and snapped his neck. And the pit that he dug, that he fell into, was his own. That is suicide, or he killed himself there. So, whilst Komodo kind of started the trend, Grimon made me hate the trend. But Komodo started a trend which I do not like with the beasts being killed. But the abilities of Komodo are nothing special, apart from, because he is fought in the icy desert, his body can withstand cold and hot temperatures, because lizards can survive hot temperatures, and this is a cold desert, so obviously cold. But that, moving on. 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23rd. 22nd place, we have Quark the Stone Dragon. This is my least favourite book of Series 19, and that fact still remains true to this day. He was, he had a good ability with being able to shoot stone beams into his opponents to turn them to stone from his eyes, as well as a few other stereotypical abilities that you see on a dragon. But apart from that, nothing much else is so special about him. Whilst I am aware he can be someone's favourite book, I personally prefer the other dragons much more than this one. So unfortunately, Quark, you're not my type. I keep losing count, of course I do. 24th, 23rd, 22nd. Okay, 21st place. We have another forgettable beast, but actually a good one though. And that's Slivka, the Cold-Hearted Curse. Now, with Slivka, whilst she, I believe it is, she is considered a rather forgettable beast to me. She's one of few beasts here that actually look like a beast. Like with the 3 eyes, the curved horns, the muscly body shape, and so much more. You can tell she clearly looks like a reptile, but also she feels like a beast. And whilst I do not remember much from her, she has some of the coolest abilities from the Series 13 set. Plus, the story is where, in this one, it starts a trend of where it starts getting dark towards the end. Slivka is my 4th favourite of this series, maybe 5th. But that's because I like Skurek, I adore Linka and Koba. And Vermok I might put above Slivka, but I'm not entirely sure. Depends how well they do in the tournament. But I'm sure with Slivka's abilities, she'll be fine. 20th place, we have Vipero the Snake Man. This one is an underrated beast. Whereas I didn't mention it in the collaboration I did with Lucas, Year Unknown, and Jack Griffin. Vipero is an underrated beast. It was at one point my one of my favourites of Series 2. However, because of how easily he got defeated in Battle with the Beast, where I admit, I believe his opponent was Rock in round 2, so obviously he was going to die. I'm hoping that in this tournament that's coming up, I'm hoping I can grow an appreciation for Vipero, because Vipero is the only snake-related beast which I actually do not care much for. Considering he's the first one, obviously I like to appreciate it. 19th place is a beast which I was considering putting on there, but considering he's based off a serpent, which I guess is technically a snake, this should count as a snake beast, but I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, 2nd place is Jack Griffin's favourite of Series 1, Vipero the Sea Serpent. Now, as I said in my beast review all those years ago, I adore the design with the seaweed hair, the little smile he has there, and of course the little curves, like the curliness he's got on his whole body there. I adore so much about Vipero, and he is one of my favourite beasts of Series 1. Whilst he's probably 3rd or 4th place, that's because Arx and Nanook I actively dislike, and Tagus is gradually moving his way down. Vipero would be nowhere near as good as Furno and Epos. But still though, I still adore Vipero though. He had a good fight, and I guess this kind of started a little trend of how you don't always need to rely on a simple key to help out. That trend continues to this day and is only brought back a few times where key can help people. This one is the first book and the 2nd book in the whole series to not have that trend. I do not know what I'm talking about, but I'm hoping in Battle of the Beasts he would do better this tournament, considering he got eliminated in round 1 last time. But with that being said, we're moving on to 18th place now, and that is Vizlak the Slytherin Serpent. I had to double check that one. Now, whilst I kind of enjoy Vizlak, and I like my snake beast, I like the little horns he's got on the side of his flat head, as well as his ability to trap people in a venom cage, let's say, to where they can't move. Unfortunately, he didn't really do well in Battle with the Beast, so I'm hoping the next tournament would be a bit kinder to him. However, because he's one of the weaker snake beasts, I wouldn't hold my breath. 17th place, we have the better dragon that could breathe out ice, Korvax the Sea Dragon. Now, the abilities for Korvax are one of the best. Being able to heal herself or regenerate lost limbs by dunking herself in water. And considering she breathes out ice, if the ice heats up, it's water. Automatic healing. The teeth are poisonous at the tips and also needle thin. As well as, I just love the overall design. And the story this is, I believe, Lucas's least favourite of Series 1. Series 19. I'm afraid Korvax is my third favourite of Series 19. And considering there's only 4 books, the other 2 are much better. There's no competition there. But I do like Korvax. Whilst I do admit that Korvax should be called the Ice Dragon, unfortunately that title was already taken by a beast that doesn't really deserve that title. But Korvax is still a good beast. I adore it. And she can swim, fly, and walk. But with that, moving on. 16th place, we have Vetrix the Poison Dragon. This was, at one point, after my Series 19 Beast review, my favourite beast of Series 19. But then, Battle of the Beast rolled around, and I matured, and both of those aspects that happened made Vetrix my second favourite dragon of Series 19. Whilst I do adore the scaly body, the sharp claws, the poisonous teeth, and everything about it, especially the acids and acidity, because I like my acid-related beasts. I think it's just the fact of how big he is. And when I say big, I mean fat. Because I like my poison-related beasts to be agile as well. Hence why some of the beasts close to the top are acidic, but also agile at the same time. Unfortunately, Vetrix isn't the most agile of all the beasts, but at least he can fly. Now, I do not believe that I actually have this beast so high on this list. I need to double check. 19, 18, 17, 16. Okay. 15th place, we have Convul the Cold-Blooded Brute. Now, the simple hint how Convul is even mentioned on this list is because his title is just Cold-Blooded and what are reptiles? Cold-Blooded. I also had to double check with someone if crocodiles and alligators are considered reptiles. They are. So, here we are. Convul. Convul is, was I may have been a bit harsh on, when the Battle of the Beasts tournament, the first season, came out. I grew some appreciation for because, he is one of the worst of Series 7, but actually, despite looking so simplistic, is actually really powerful. With the tough scales, the spiky tail, the sharp claws, sharp fangs, and of course, the closer he is to water, the stronger he is, kind of like another beast called Okawa, which isn't on this list, by the way, because Okawa is not a reptile, at least I don't think so. But yeah, Convul, yeah, great beast. I may have been a bit harsh on, but my opinion has changed. Moving on to 14th place, we have Scalabanks the Snapping Horror. Now, whilst I know Lucas would say Scalabanks is an ankylosaurus or something, it is partially fused with a crocodile, which Lucas also told me, and crocodiles are reptilians. Plus, I'm pretty sure dinosaurs are... some dinosaurs can be classed as reptiles, but I believe they are in the avian family. So, you might see this one on the on the avian list. Probably not, because that would mean it has to fly, but it doesn't. I need to double check that though, but I'm pretty sure this one is a reptile. But that, Scalabanks unfortunately didn't do so good in the Battle of the Beast tournament. And apart from a tough armor, he has a very unreliable weapon. But it caused some very memorable moments in Battle of the Beast for me, where I'm just like, oh yeah, that happened. And I did grow to appreciate this beast during the tournament as well. So that's a thing. It is still my least favourite of Series 20, but not by a large gap like it originally was. I still prefer Zoolock over Scalabanks. Hold on. Okay, so 13th place we have Sorex the Silent Creeper. Whilst I adore this lizard beast, and it's probably my favourite lizard beast on this list, I don't know if you class as a lizard, but I know you do class as a reptile. You have to Google that one. Yeah, you are my favourite lizard, I think. Okay, whilst I adore this beast anyway, however, due to the circumstances of the tournament he was in, he had a not very good matchup, which obviously led to him, well, having this downfall. Basically, but I do like his ability. So he has a tongue and tail whip, as well as incredibly agile, can camouflage as well, and so much more, to where he can become hard to see, but also can pack a punch as well. And you can't fight, but you can't see. 12th place, we have the wrap-up to the Series 19 beast, and that's Stritor the Skeleton Dragon. Whilst I would argue Stritor and Quark should not be on this list, I would also argue they should be, because dragons are considered reptiles. Now, whilst I am fully aware that Stritor has no scales, which is a key attribute to reptiles being even considered for this list, and neither does Quark have scales. Well, basically, if they're a dragon, they're on the list. Simple as. I didn't put much thought into this. The only time I did was with a few entries. But Stritor I do like for his abilities being some of the best, and also how well he did in Battle of the Beasts. He did quite good, actually. If I was to mention something negative about him, it might have to be with the fact that I don't remember much from his book, and that's because he's Series 19, and I've read a total of 8 other seasons after this, not to mention a ton of specials. Stritor just kind of blended into the background, I guess. Whilst he still stands out as that one dragon made out of bones, and by far the best of Series 19. There's nothing really much else I can say from him, apart from hopefully he does well in this tournament that's coming up, and maybe he'll do better than last time. Now, I'm not actually spoiling how well a beast does in a tournament unless it's the first season, because I know Jack Griffin is trying to catch up on the special tournament and then watch the new generation tournament before I do my all generation tournament. Which, by the way, the all generation tournament I'm starting in February time. So, yeah. But yeah, that's why I'm not really spoiling much of the tournament from the new generation and the special generation, because I know Jack will be watching this and I don't want to spoil it for him. But what I will say though, because he knows who won in the old generation tournament already, I am happy to spoil that for him, because he said he's not even going to watch it. So, so yeah, that's why I'm doing that. But 11th place, just missing out on the top 10. Lucas may hate me here, considering what 10th place is. And I'm not apologising for that, by the way. 11th place is Technos the Ocean Crawler. Now, I was about to say Technos does not count as a reptile because he's a turtle, so an amphibian. But then I remembered Over the Hedge. Vern, the turtle, constantly says he's a reptile. So I was like, oh yes, right, turtles are reptiles. I then had to Google it and ask my friend about the same person about the crocodiles. And she said, yeah, reptiles. Right, got it. Right, Technos on the list, 11th place. He did fantastic in Battle of the Beasts tournament, actually. Whilst I'm not going to say how far he got, I will say, though, he did get quite far. I don't want to say how far, but you'll be seeing him for a while. If there's something else I need to say about Technos, his abilities I kind of took for granted. Same for him in general, because I'm not really a big fan of the slow, bulking beasts. But when after the first battle I had with Technos, I was just thinking this one might actually do well. Because the defensive beasts, in my opinion, are the ones that are most likely going to die first, because they could take a hit, but they can't really give a much powerful one back. This one can. And I'm just thinking, oh, this could win. However, due to poor matchups, he did eventually get eliminated, but he did get quite far. So, 10th place, Lucas is going to hate me for this one. 10th place is, for the sole reason of his round 3 battle in Battle of the Beasts, old generation, is Serpio the Slytherin Shadow. So, we'll start things off with the stuff which isn't that battle. In design, it looks quite good. It looks like it's made out of ice, but it's actually blue scales. So, that I actually learnt was resourcing to this. Obviously cold-blooded. I like its wings. It's never shown to be flying. If it has wings, it's gonna fly, and I will make it fly. Abilities are all quite cool, especially the one where it can shoot an ice beam out of its eye and tail, which also has another eye on, so technically 360-degree vision. And the fight was also quite good. And then Battle of the Beasts rolled along. This one went from my second favourite book of Series 11 to my favourite. Round 1, an alright victory, didn't really do much. Round 2, a good victory as well, didn't do much either. Round 3, killed Silver. Killed Lucas's favourite old generation beast, and trust me, I took great pleasure in doing that. Lucas may hate me for this, I still stand by my decision that Serpio was meant to win. And that's because of his multiple abilities, not to mention Silver can't really do much against a beast that can fly, agile, and freeze him in place, as well as using the arena to get Silver's fur all wet, just so he can freeze Silver. And Silver, whilst he is immune to cold temperatures, if his fur is wet, he's more vulnerable to them. And then it just ended with a simple neck snap, so at least Silver went quickly. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing Serpio in the next tournament. I'm hoping he will do much better than he did in the last tournament. Whilst he did make it to round 4 actually, I'm hoping he'll make it further, and that's simply because I want to grow more appreciation for him. However, I do not remember his opponent in the next tournament, but I'm hoping this one he can beat. Moving on to 9th place, we have the newest member of the Reptilian family, Gargantuar, the Silent Assassin. Now, something I need to say about Gargantuar, her abilities are brilliant. Especially the persuasive one, where she's so persuasive she can lend her power to her enemies, but actually take control of them. Sharp fangs, agile, pitchfork tail, not to mention an inky venom, which I believe me and Lucas agreed were acidic. So yeah, not to mention due to her body being made of steel, and if Pokemon taught me anything, poison does not affect steel. So this is the only beast that cannot get poisoned. Whereas I'm sure there are other beasts that can't get poisoned. That's the first one I thought of. But yeah, Gargantua, I'm looking forward to using in the tournament, and hopefully she'll do well. 8th place, we have Scalabanks, the Fiery Fury. This one I was debating on adding onto this list, but if I remember right from Google or the Holy Bible, it said that Scalabanks is a reptile. Whilst it's clearly based off a salamander, I believe they are reptiles, but I'm not entirely sure. They might be amphibians. I might have cheated here. But it doesn't change much of the list. Whilst I do adore the beast, he didn't really do well in the tournament he was in. But he made it past round 1. because he skipped. But that's pretty much it. I'm hoping he'll do much better in the next tournament. And once he's not skipping round 1 this time, and I'm making sure of that, I'm gonna hope he has a good battle against whoever he's going against. I believe... Oh no, I was going to say I think it's Jacarix, but I don't even know who he's going against now. 7th place, we have Manix the Silent Stalker. This one was an obvious beast for me to make it into the top 10. Because, well, it's a snake that can regrow its head. It's a Hydra. However, whilst Manix was an obvious favourite to win Battle of the Beasts in the tournament that he participated in, I didn't want Manix to win. Because even though he was an obvious favourite to win, that kind of gave the impression, okay, well, I don't know what I can really do. Because whilst Manix has some of the best abilities, and the longer he's in battle and the more heads he has, the more powerful he is, I need to think of a way for how he can be defeated in a fair way, where it's shown where you can't always vote for the most reliable beast or the most overpowered beast to win. I did it in the old generation tournament with Koba. I did it in Specials generation with Grashkor, but Grashkor did lose to a very overrated beast as well, but I'm not arguing with that one. I did it in New Generation with this beast and another beast. Was I'm not aware which was I do remember what the other beast was. I'm not going to say which beast because there's a lot of very powerful beasts in the New Generation tournament. Making a statement which I'm about to say, which Lucas is going to make sure I remember, making the winner of the New Generation tournament probably the best winner we had. And that's because the winner of the New Generation tournament actually defeated some of the most overpowered beasts there were in that tournament. Now, spoiler alert to you guys who haven't seen the New Generation tournament, but in 6th place, I do have the winner. So if you do not want to know who the winner is, please skip forward 2 minutes, and then we'll be back at 34:40, starting now. So, 6th place is Wardock, the Sky Terror. I will say, he is probably a beast which I didn't expect to win the tournament from the very beginning. After his round 1 and round 2 battle, I was like, oh, this guy's definitely going to do well. And then he proceeded to defeat Corixa, Crotax, skip round 3, the lucky bastard. But then he killed Manix as well. And then he went on to kill Morax, then Lycaxa. Some stupidly overpowered beasts. None of them are weak. There's something I need to say about Wardock. I think it's just going to need to be, this beast is broken. Whilst I am glad he won the tournament, and he's not my favourite winner, because I prefer the other winners more. I will say though, Wardock is by far, in my opinion, the most worthy winner. And that's because, well, defeating Morax, Lycaxa, and Manix, do I need to go on to Crotax and Corixa? Mate, come on. This deserves the victory. The design, abilities, and fight in the book I did not think much of, but the tournament is really where my opinion for Wardock actually changed. And whilst he's still not my favourite of Series 15, I'm willing to bet, when it comes down to it, Wardock might surpass my favourite of Series 15. And that just depends on how well 5th place does in the next tournament. So, whilst Wardock will not be competing in the All Generation tournament, my favourite Series 15 is. Hopefully, he will do well. He did very well last time, but here we are, waiting for everyone to come back now. And welcome back to the people who skipped 2 minutes, just to avoid me talking about 6th place, which was the winner of the New Generation tournament. So, now we're going on to my 5th place, Plexor the Raging Reptile. what can I say about this beast apart from I adore it? I am a really big fan of Loch Ness Monster, one of my favourite mythological creatures, right behind the Phoenix. And then having the beast based off the Loch Ness Monster made me adore it. Not to mention, every time Plexor had a fight, I had a very special introduction to the video with Plexor, and it got to the point where Lucas was getting a bit annoyed by it. But as a running joke, what can you do? You can't stop me from it. So it's something I just enjoyed doing, having a running joke every time I introduced Plexor in the New Generation tournament. I loved it from when I first read it, and I still do now. 4th place, we have Falcor the Coiled Terror, the last special in the ranking. And the top 3, well, if you know which 3 they are, then something kind of funny about this top 3 as well. But Falcor is here simply because compared to the others, other remaining beasts, this one actually did quite good in Battle of the Beasts tournament in specials. However, because of the placement that the other 3 got in their respective tournaments, this one actually came last compared to the others. And considering this one made it very far, and those who've seen the Special Generation tournament know how far he got, that just means one thing. You should know what the top 3 are then. But with that, unfortunately, Falcor is 4th place, but I still love it. I still adore it. It's my favorite. It's my second favorite snake beast, and nothing really much would change that because I do adore Falcor, and I look forward to learning more about him when it comes to Chronicles of Avantia, Fire and Fury, I believe it says. That's if I get around to it. So 3rd place. Now the top 3 is actually a really tough choice to me because all 3 of them are incredible beasts. However, what sealed my order on them, and this will give away what the final 3 are, is the fact they all competed in the same tournament, and they were the top 3. So with that, my least favourite out of all of them is the same as it was on my top 20 Beast Quest book ranking I did with Lucas. And also it's the same order that they came in Battle of the Beasts. So 3rd place is Furno the Fire Dragon. The original beast, the one that started the entire series, one of the best beasts there are. And he came 3rd place. He did brilliant in Battle of the Beasts Old Generation. He was one of 2 Series 1 beasts that actually made it to round 2. And then after round 2, he was the only one left standing because Tagus did not last long after round 2. But was the other beasts got eliminated in round 1, Furno and Tagus were the only ones that made it into round 2, where Tagus got killed almost immediately. Furno forced his way to the top 3 and earned his spot in what I would consider the finals, but technically it is the semi-finals. I'm not really sure, but Carnivora and Rock, whilst they made it into the top 5, where I'll consider them to be the semi-finalists, this one was able to skip that round and was able to skip the top 5 round, make it into the top 3 almost immediately, and then he got killed by Torpix. But Torpix, whilst Torpix went on to the finals and Furno didn't, Furno was a favourite to win, and I believe it was Lucas's favourite to win the entire tournament. So, whilst Lucas's first ever favourite to win the Old Generation tournament didn't win, he did quite well. So, nothing to be sad about. I mean, Lucas's favourite to win in the Special Generation didn't even make it past round 2. 2nd place is, of course, the runner-up of the Old Generation tournament. I mean, you know what my number 1 favourite reptile beast is. But 2nd place is Crestor the Crushing Terror. Now, for this one, this was the runner-up of the Old Generation tournament. Did fantastic throughout the entire tournament. Was admittedly not a very good portfolio on victories he had. I mean, he was the beast that killed Rock, and he was the beast that killed Rock, which was another favourite to win due to the fact he was made of rock, kind of hard to kill. But luckily he was able to kill Rock, and trust me, I would have been really upset to have Rock actually win. But not to mention, he, along with Carnivora, were the last series standing with more than one beast left in that respective series. That was also another thing that boosts Series 7 up on my favourite series ranking. But Crestor is also one of the first Beast Quest books I've read. Convol was actually my first, followed by Hellion, and then it was Crestor. And Crestor always had that little spot in my heart as a beast which I remembered for being awesome. And also, its fight is an aquatic beast, but fought in a rocky mountain terrain. How many times do I need to say that on this channel? That's damn good. He can breathe above water and underwater. Fantastic. Not to mention, acid coming from the spikes along the back of his neck. Whilst I will say, that's the reason why he didn't win the Old Generation tournament. He came second place. And if luck gives him the nice cards in the All Generation tournament, he will probably make it very far. And I'm hoping he does. Because, number one, I can't root for. Because number one is Torpix the Twisting Serpent. And like number 6 on this list and the winner of the Special Generation tournament, I can't root for them. Because they won't be competing in the tournament. Now, Torpix the Twisting Serpent is the Guardian of the Eternal Flame, the only beast in Seraph. 2 incredible titles for a beast already. And then he went on to win the Old Generation tournament of Battle of the Beasts and destroy Crestor, Furno, and Carnivora, as well as many other impressive victories. I believe he killed actually, no, yeah, I think this is the beast that killed Tagus. It was either this beast or Crestor that killed Tagus. I don't know. But I believe Torpix also killed Balisk as well, which I forgot to add Balisk onto this list. Balisk's title was the Water Snake, and I forgot to add him onto this list. Okay, so I forgot to add Balisk on this list, and I can't believe I just remembered him now. Now, I'm not re-recording this again, but Balisk will be... Did I prefer Balisk more over you? Yeah, okay. Balisk could be 7th place, sandwiched between Manix and 6th place, which was the winner of the Special Generation tournament. I'm being careful not to say 6th place's name because I don't want to spoil it. But there, Balisk will be 7th place. Yeah, Balisk will be 7th place. I can't believe I forgot to add Balisk. I'm actually really upset with myself now. But Torpix is still my number 1 favourite reptilian beast and my 2nd favourite beast of all time. And depending how well Mortax does in the All Generation tournament, Torpix will either overtake Mortax or stay in 2nd place. But yeah, Torpix is my favourite reptilian beast, and that's for the simple reason he was the first winner of the Old Generation tournament. Has a very important title as the Guardian of the Eternal Flame, the first and only beast on Seraph, and also, not to mention, is a snake. I love my snakes. So with that being said, that's all for this time. If you like what you saw, leave a like, leave a comment, don't forget to subscribe, press the little notification bell down in the corner below, and I'll see you next time.